Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Ducksy Gaming and the return of the Laidback Exile series. So for those unfamiliar with the series, it's basically taking a new build that I haven't played before from scratch in SSF through to maps and then progressing as far as I can. So as per the last season, I'm picking a class and a skill that I haven't played before, and this time I'm going to start with the Spark Inquisitor. So I'm not concerned about the leveling time, more about the playing experience because it's SSF and doing this for fun. So for better or worse, I'm going to play Spark from the very start. So last season I excluded leveling as I was more looking at mapping, progressing the Atlas, how long it can take if you only play a few hours a day. However, this time I'm going to include the campaign in detail along with explanation as to what I'm doing and why. Now, the first thing to look at is how do I start a build that I'm familiar with? And to be honest, PoE Ninja for me is the best resource for getting started. So if you're going to PoE Ninja here, you come in and I would pick SSF Archnemesis from the drop down, and then you have this thing called a time machine, which basically shows you a snapshot of what people were playing on certain days. So what I've done before this video started is gone through kind of skills that people used. I did want to play Spark anyway, but if there was maybe only one person that played it, then it would have took me a lot longer to prep the build itself. So we go to Inquisitor and then we select Spark, and it would show you on day one all these people that chose Inquisitor and picked Spark. You have this thing called the passive tree heat map, and this shows you where people path in general, with blue being the least up to red, which is the most densely populated. You're also able to then just go into individual builds, look at their skills, look at their items, look at their tree. If you wanted to, you can import anyone's tree from day one into Path of Building and have a look at it, have a play around with it. But essentially what I'll do is go through the heat map, go through the skills that people are using, look at any masteries that might be important. As you see, things like Iron Will looks really, really needed for the build. So that's obviously something I'll include. But essentially what I'm looking to do is put together a leveling pod so that I've got something I can refer to as I'm leveling through the campaign. However, since I'm not trying to do it in a certain amount of time, I'm not trying to say, right, I'm going to get to maps in 5 hours. I just want to have a fun leveling experience with a skill I've not used before. So I'll put together a very brief leveling pod that I can then refer to rather than have to open up PoE Ninja. So I'm going to create a leveling POB, which I'll put in the guide. All it's going to be is maybe 3 different skill trees for early, mid and late campaign. And then just the skills in general that people are using. With things like spells, because they use a lot of mana, skills can really depend on the gear you've got and the passives you take. But I'll put together a POB with maybe 7 or 8 different support gems in Spark that I can use depending how I want to tackle it. And then really I'll just go from there. I have no idea how this skill plays from the off. Spells did get buffed, but they got buffed more at the high end rather than the beginning stage. But with this league mechanic, you can get access to quite a decent amount of leveling uniques early on. And then the idea is, it's the first SSF build I'm doing of the league, so I just want to progress as far as I can so that it allows me to then maybe farm gear if I decide that I want to re-roll, which is what happened in the last series. So now that my leveling POB is all set up, it's time to jump into the game and start Act 1. My plan for Act 1 is to just farm the hell out of the league mechanic to get a bunch of nice leveling uniques to hopefully make leveling smoother and more fun. So here goes nothing.
Blessed now, tormented soul.
Is this true faith?
A woman corrupted beyond humanity. I must cure this plague before it's...
Okay, Weaver time.
My mana is spent.
And this is just to show the technique I'm using to try and get decent unique. So I've leveled up a second character who's just basically got to Tidal Island. And what I'm doing every time I get a Berserker, which I'll demonstrate now, is I'm going in and I'm killing 2 of the Archnemesis monsters, basically to try and get a Tabula. Because I do want a 6-link, it's SSF. I don't particularly want to farm Blood Aqueducts to try and get one. So every time we get a Berserker, I'm going into Tidal Islands, killing 2 Archnemesis monsters and hoping for a Tabula. Now this character's not leveled at all. I basically just got them straight to Tidal Island. So it might be that I die when I'm killing the monsters, but it doesn't really matter. We're just doing it to kill the Archnemesis monsters. So let's find the first one. There's one over there. So as you see, I don't even have a movement skill because I haven't got to the next zone yet. So we will stick our Berserker in. So they're normally alright as long as I don't then use Hasted, because Hasted makes them a bit OP. And basically they'll be the level of the zone rather than the level of the Archnemesis currency. Now this zone only gives you 2 monsters, but because it's a item level 3 zone, it obviously limits the uniques that I can get. So I've got more chance of getting a tab than if I do it in, say, a zone that's, you know, level 12, 14, 16. So I just want to make sure I don't use Hasted because it's pretty horrible. So something like Overcharge should be alright. Because they're not doing physical damage, so you can get endurance charges, that's not a problem. Wrong simple robe, that's a shame. It's not actually the worst item in the world, but not what we're looking for. But that's essentially what I'm doing. So every time I get a Berserker, I'm going back onto this character, going in here, and as long as I stay level 13 or below on this character, then I'm fine to go and farm uniques. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get a Tabula. Like, yes, it's going to make leveling a lot longer, but Tabula is going to massively help for later in the campaign, for early mapping. I don't have to worry about looking for, you know, 4 links, 5 links of the right colors. So that's what I'm doing. So hopefully in episode 2, as we get further on in the campaign, I'll have got the Tabula, and then we can start motoring through the campaign. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of Act 2. Obviously, I'm still 3-link gaming. I have got 2 lightning damage wands. So the damage is actually, with Orbital Storm Stand, looking pretty decent for single target. So I don't foresee any major problems with a Vaal Oversoul. I'm still hunting for Berserk to get uniques to then go on to the second character and hopefully get a tab, or like we've got pretty much every other level in unique. Tab's obviously the rarest, but it would be good to get one. And yeah, progress is slow, but I don't really care. I'm quite enjoying playing Spark, and I actually quite enjoy melting things instead of zooming through and struggling to do single target. So we'll see how we get on against Vaal Oversoul. It should be fine. Like, DPS has been pretty good against the Archnemesis monsters. God, it takes a long time to come up, doesn't he? Yeah, that's good enough. That is good enough. Sweet. That's no gun. I guess we can sell it, but it's not really much good. So, on we go to Act 3. Okay, so we are going to be 4-link gaming. Hagen has provided us with a 4-link. We used the only alchemy orb we had because unfortunately we're going to be replacing Wanderlust, which you don't really want to do, but 4-link's going to allow us to add cast speed, which is pretty big. So we're just going to put the movement speed craft on these. It's always 10. Every time you do that craft, it's 10. I don't really get it. So let's move Holy Flame Totem there. Should be okay. Then we're going to move our main falling, which is on here. Ah, it's got Pierce. That's a problem. Didn't think about that. Now, do I risk bricking this? Because I've only got one. We could put Orb of Storms in a falling, actually. We can do Orb of Storms, added lightning, faster casting, and then we should be able to go and buy another gem. So it's not ideal. Actually, that still leaves us not being able to run faster casting. Okay, we're going to risk the chrome. Oh, that's lucky as hell. We'll take it. So, go here, and then we go added lightning damage, spark, pierce, move that across here. We do need to look for a chest upgrade as well. That doesn't need to go anywhere for now, and then we just need to go and buy another faster casting from Act 2. It just feels bad without pierce when you're clearing. So we'll take faster casting, stick that in here. So we've now got a 4-link of added lightning, spark, faster casting, and pierce. And then we've got a 3-link orb of storms. Still using the Holy Flame Totem just for consecrated ground, but I'm not sure it's 100% needed. So we need to find the trial, which looks like it's down there somewhere. Oh, I heard that. There it is. Take that. Oh, I'm missing an aura here. Yeah, missing clarity, which we need. Okay, cool. That's that done. So let's go just over here by the looks of it.
A dead man and a living machine. There's your truth, heretic.
Now, I don't have much lightning resistance from memory, but we're absolutely melting her, so that's fine. We'll take that for crafting. Nice. So I think we'll call episode 1 here. Sort of at the beginning of Act 3, starting to get some decent DPS so we can start leveling a bit quicker. I may try and do a bit of leveling for this series on stream. I've not decided yet. Episode 2 is probably going to be the entirety of the rest of the acts. Just combine it into like a 10-15 minute video for people who wanted to see how I progress. There's a POV in the video description for where the character is at the moment. As always, thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you in the next video.